Dahanjo. How you doing, everybody? Will this be the year I catch a falling leaf on camera? I've caught them, just not on camera. Caught them before I was a moto vlogger. You should probably concentrate on the road, I guess. That maybe is that a good... I'll pull in here and see the fellas. Whoa, one of them got up and walked away. Look in the distance. Yeah, what's up, everybody? Yeah, so yep, autumn approaches here in New England. We are getting close to, my favorite time of year. Will this be the year I don't rant about daylight savings time? I got a couple of weeks to make up my mind as to whether to rant or not. We'll see. There's been talk of getting rid of the shenanigan. Can you have one shenanigan, or is it always shenanigans? Whatever daylight savings is, the lies, the conspiracies, the false narrative surrounding the holiday daylight savings. Yeah, I'm not here to talk about that today. I'm not here to talk about much, actually. A couple of words I came across as I was reading through a particular book for work. So since I started my residency, it's about 18 months ago, I've read about, I don't know, it's like something like 23 books for the job. It's kind of an intensive bit of work going into it. But yeah, in this particular reading, it was some word derivations that were the topic du jour, or whatever that means. Topic of the day, maybe. And one word was office, and the other was Sabbath. So office comes from the same word for like opus, like means like work. Like you might listen to somebody's opus. It would be like a work of some musical endeavor. A little one would be an opuscule. But yeah, an opus. So from that word we get office. So our offices are the things we work at. And I might actually go to a place called an office, which is typically where you shirk or whatever. And then there's the word Sabbath, which comes from a word that I can't pronounce. And whatever that word is, it means pretty much to stop. Yeah, so we got work and we got stop. And you're supposed to work, and apparently you're also supposed to stop. In some sort of a rhythmic pattern. You work, stop. And then you work, stop. Kind of thing, And if you just work, you'll stop maybe quick, fast, in a hurry. Because the human body's not meant to work. And some people are big talk, and they talk about never taking a break, and they plow through. Then they have the big one. You know what I mean? And then they ask themselves, why, oh why, did I work so much? And all that bravado goes out the window. But if you only know them in their bravado period, and you don't see some of the after effects, and realize, oh, that guy's only 35, I thought he was in his 60s. Yeah, maybe you'd learn not to just only work, that there should be some sort of a rest, some sort of a cessation or a Sabbath for your own sake. And so I think you most notably hear the word, I guess, like religiously. So there's a Sabbath. A lot of like Protestant-ish people will take one on a Sunday, or at least that's what they say. Kind of stop working there. Jewish people, their Sabbath would be what, on Saturday. So you're kind of prepping, the week, leading up to it, so that Saturday you could just chill. You don't have to do anything. Work-wise, you could just sort of recharge your batteries. And there was in the book that I was reading, it was talking about and it was supposedly a true story, but you know how that goes. But it was a group of people charging westward in their Conestoga wagons and their stogies, and they were heading west or whatever. Let's check out these fine folks. Hello. I think I saw my third grade teacher in there. Yeah, I should have been going slower. I should have taken a break. But anyway, yeah. So this group of Conestoga wagons sets out for the west, and it was getting to the point where winter was fast approaching, and if they didn't reach where they were going, they were in dire jeopardy of not making their destination, because when winter comes in some of those parts, it really comes in and paralyzes the region. And so their previous routine was to travel 6 days and to rest 1 day. It gives the horses a chance to rest. It gives get rid of some of the saddle sores, and kind of puts things back on the shelf in your wagon, for a day, and then you get back on the road. But so half the group wanted to just keep that routine. Like, listen, this is a very important routine that we have, an important ritual, so we want to continue to do that. The other half of the group was like, no, we've got to press on. We have to. It's a race against time. We gotta go to get to where we're headed before winter sets in. And so they split up, and the one group carried on with their routine of traveling 6 days, then resting a day, having faith that they would make it in time, because this is what they believed was the right thing to do. The other group marched on and on and on, and raced 7 days a week across the countryside to try to make it to their destination. And as history goes, that I read, is they reached their destination around the same time. And what had happened was the wagoneers, I'll call them, that rested, they were still pretty fresh. So days when they were traveling, they traveled pretty well, and they had that 1 day the horses could rest, kind of rebuild a little muscle mass and get back on the road. And no road back then. And then the other group that just pressed on were so bedraggled and wore out that they were just dragging by the time they reached there. If they had just rested every now and then, they would have made it. Why am I talking? Why are you letting me ramble on here, guys? Yeah, I mean, what are we talking about? But I don't know, maybe some of you guys are into that sort of routine. Maybe you are working, and you think like, man, this is the only way. I'm really racking it up so that I can chill when I'm old, right? I'm just gonna make hay. I'm gonna work 7 days a week. I'm gonna have 5 jobs, and all that, and just I don't know, just rake it in while I'm young. Hi, what's up? And so I don't know, man. I'm just wondering if that's the best idea for us as human creatures who actually have bodies and brains that do some rebuilding when we rest them. We eat the right foods, and then we rest, and then our bodies fix themselves, in a lot of cases. So is there an advantage to actually taking a Sabbath break, every once in a while, every several days, or once in a blue moon? What are your thoughts on that? Anyway, some of you guys, you haven't started working yet. You've been the endless summer. You're just kind of cruising around doing whatever, and that's that's a different way to go. That's something. I don't know. I don't want to go through, because can I creep up now? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I don't want to get stuck in the intersection. It's embarrassing and it's dangerous. Yeah, so, but those of you who do take a break, how do you do it? Like, what does your break look like? You know, if it's like a Saturday or a Sunday, or a Saturday and a Sunday, even better, right? If you're doing that, what are you doing that helps you to recharge your batteries? And do you feel like you're a better worker when you do take time to recharge your batteries? Yeah, let me know in the comments below. What do you? No one ever comments, by the way. That's just a phrase moto vloggers like me say. It's part of the script, but nobody ever comments. Except, yeah, I got a few good commenters usually. But yeah, what do you do? How do you blow off steam? Those of you who are working without break, how do you justify that? What's your motivation for that? Is it racking up the dough because you're afraid you won't have enough in the future? And I'm being straight-faced. I'm not saying because that's a bad idea. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, like, is that because that's like a legitimate concern for a lot of people, financial security, you know? So is that why you're doing it? Or here's the try not to fall out of my seat, or yeah, are you noticing this traffic? Yeah, so here we are. Yeah, I only take you to the nicest roads, but this is your typical Boston area traffic, by the way, if you've been keeping track. And trust me, where I got on the road, it was backed up in the opposite direction, you know, quite a bit as well. So yeah, this is you want to live around here, you pay through the nose, and you get to sit in traffic all day. But the other thing, and I have seen this, and it's been cool, is like somebody who finds what it is that they are born to do, or you know, love to do, and they never work a day in their life. The job is like right in their wheelhouse, and they find a way to kind of rest along the way, you know. They're doing what they love, so positivity is the name of the game. You know, they're happy, they're healthy, they're doing what they love, they're good at what they do, and so they don't quite need the break. I'll say, when I was a public school teacher, you know, I'm a recovering educator, but when I was a public school teacher, man, when those vacations rolled around, teachers need those vacations, right? You know, you get a week off in February, you need it, because you're going to start flipping desks in a second, stabbing pencils into the chalkboard. You know what I mean? Like, it is time for a forced break. You know, so that's, you know, typically the life of the teacher is that. And then, you know, a lot of them will, like, you end up grading papers over vacation anyway. You know, and you can't afford to go anywhere because you're on a teacher's salary, so you're kind of stuck home. But you get to sleep in a little bit, you know, hopefully, which is cool. But, you know, you absolutely need it. Yeah, and then there's other people, like I've seen some artists and people like that who are they just love their job. So, yeah, that maybe they'll go in a little late once in a while, or, you know, something like that. Sometimes they work a little late, or work, you know, they work a 20-day stretch, but they're finding ways to recharge in that and not burn out. So what's your scoop, Betty Boop? What do you do? That's what I want to know. And leave it in the comments below. And now it is time to go. All right. Yeah, I thought we'd have more foliage for you today, but yeah, another couple of days, stuff will really start to pop. You go just like, you know, a little bit, you go to the other side of town or whatever, a little higher elevation, the trees are already, some of them are bare, you know, and some of them are still green, so well, whatever. All right, hang up the phone. All right, bye. Love you guys. Care about you. I want you to do well. Take care of yourself. Rest, please. Take care of yourself. And I'll talk to you soon. All right, bye.